Hey, welcome back to another episode of Club Fed True Stories. So you ever wonder who's in Club Fed? What kind of inmates are there? I'm going to talk about that today. Martha Stewart. Yeah, those kind of people. That Lori Laughlin. She got to do 2 months. She's in for a little trip for 2 months. That's nothing. That Michael Cohen, what did he do? 4 months, got out. But those kind of people are in Club Fed. But there's all kinds of other people. You'd be surprised. First of all, it's very international. So he got people from Russia. And so I had my buddy Alex from Russia. My buddy Salty from Jordan. Chris from Tonga. You got people from all over the world. And we have no fences at a camp. And you would think, why would they put all these foreigners in a prison camp? Well, they're not foreigners anymore. See, they become American citizens. And believe it or not, they don't judge you as long as you're an American citizen. No fences, they can walk away. We got a lot of Mexicans there, but they're Mexican-American nationals. A lot of drug dealers. Half the place is full of drug dealers. Cartels, mules, paisas. There are some southerners and northerners. Now, I was in Florence, Colorado. It's the high desert, southern Colorado. So what I understand is the southerners that we had there, Serranos. Now, these are the guys that, I guess it's their first time offense in the prison system. They're nothing on paper. Their tattoos aren't written down on paper that they're affiliated with the gang. And they didn't get caught with guns. They just got caught maybe taking drugs across the state line or bringing them back from Mexico. And but they're not high risk. They're nonviolent as far as the courts see it, so they get to come to a camp. And they're well behaved when they get there because they know they're getting out. Now, they can walk and take off to Mexico and never come back to the country. And sometimes I wonder, why wouldn't you? But for some reason, they want to stay in America and maybe they only got a 2 or 3 year sentence. They get over with. Now, I met a guy. I used to bring him his mail. And this guy was slick. This guy was definitely a cartel. But he was a head guy. But he was slick. He was cool. He was calm. I really liked the guy. Very educated. No tattoos or nothing like that. He was just, he would have these conversations with me and he would say, in my business, when these guys get out of here, they can't work for me anymore. They have to wait 10 years off paper. And so that off paper means off probation. So everybody gets out of a federal prison. Then you go on probation. 1, 2, 3, 5 years. I heard of some guys getting 20 years. I think that's the pedophiles, though. If you're a pedophile, turn this channel. Do not watch my shit. Go away. I've never wanted to shank anybody or had violence toward anybody, but pedophiles, that's somebody I would shank. They don't let them in the camps. Thank God. If you're going to a low, it's going to be 70% pedophiles. Oh, God, that's another video. I don't even think I'll waste my time making a video on that. But thank God we don't have them at a camp. But this guy was cool, calm, slick. And he used to tell me they got to wait 10 years before they can get back into the business. 10 years after they're off probation. But the way he talked was it was his business, and he's definitely going to be working. But he was talking about the guys. We were talking about some guys that were leaving in a couple of days. So we got the doctors, we got the lawyers, we got the white collar, we got the real estate fraud, the realtors, the bankers, the stockbrokers, the ID theft, the fraud, the wire fraud, the internet scams. You got your money laundering. You got all those kinds of people. So the doctors I knew, a lot of it was Medicare fraud, Medi-Cal fraud, had to do with billing Medi-Cal and getting all this money from them. A few doctors were there for opiates, prescribing way too many opiates and getting cash back for it, and these pain clinics that they were running and just handing out, these drugs like they're candy, So that's a big thing. There's also a lot of marijuana growers, even though it's legal and it's legal in Colorado. They still go after them because it's not federal. It's still a federal crime. So they go after these guys. And I think they go after the big ones. There's another guy in there. He was selling spice. Now, it used to be legal, and he said, but he still kept selling it, and he kept changing the molecular structure of the spice, trying to, every time they'd come out with a new regulation, he'd just come out with a new kind of spice. He was there. There was a guy who was pouring chemicals down the drain in the street from his company. I don't know. I think I don't know. He ran a warehouse, and the chemicals, he was pouring them down the drain. Somebody complained, and he got 5 years for that. So you never know who you're going to see in there. So the big thing is the drug dealers. About half of them are drug dealers. And these guys like to live high on the hog in there. They'll have 26 pairs of shoes, and, they have somebody clean their cell every day. Somebody does their laundry. Somebody cooks for them in the microwave, and they still want to live like that, and they do. But everybody gets along. You don't have to join a gang. We don't have any paperwork to show. There's a lot of guys that told on all their co-workers before they got there. They ratted all their people out, and, and you could tell. You could tell who did it and who didn't. So there was a guy in there for counterfeit. Now, he was a black guy. And the black guys that we have in there, maybe 10%, but they're white-collar black guys. You can call them black-collar, white-collar. This guy was in there for counterfeiting money, and he only got a year. So I know he gave people up. You don't get a year for counterfeiting, man. Not without giving people up. But the thing is, once you get to the camp, don't be snitching then. Don't be telling on the guys with the cell phone. I like to have my cigarettes. Don't tell on me. Don't tell on the people gambling. And, just keep your mouth shut and look the other way and just keep going. And some reason it bothers these people. They see guys on cell phones and they want to go rat them out to the guards. And, they get their ass beat. Yes, there's violence in Club Fed, but it's for telling on somebody with a cell phone. I had a guy try to tell on me with a cigarette, and the guard said, hey, this one dude was, this guy from the music room. We ran the music room. Nobody liked him. It's a real prick. He told on a bunch of us for smoking, and so the guard came up to us and said, yeah, this guy's ratting you out on smoking. He goes, don't worry about it, man. I don't give a fuck. Some of the guards are really nice. They don't care if you smoke. One guy used to make us do push-ups. Another guy used to make us clean the bathroom. Sometimes they give her extra duty, and you got to pull weeds all day. A few pricks from the medium and the penitentiary, and once in a while they get rotated in there. And they'll send you to the hole, But usually it's not a big deal. Although I seen a guy who was going to get out. He had about 10 days to get out of prison on his release day. He got caught smoking by one of these motherfuckers from the penitentiary. And they took 40 days good time away from him, and he didn't get released. They took 40 days, and he had to do an extra 40 days for having a cigarette. And I remember saying, man, when I get 10 days to go, I'm gonna quit smoking. Well, I didn't quit smoking. So it's the only habit I got left. I've been battling drugs and alcohol in my life for about 4 years, clean and sober. And life's good today. But the cigarettes, well, that's another day. So when you go to a Club Fed, you don't have to join a gang. If you drop the soap, pick it up yourself, but nobody's gonna, if there's no Bubba, drop the soap. Although, there's some gay guys in there. So I remember this one time. Once in a while, a guard comes through, and they check the bathrooms, because these guys are in there talking on their cell phone. And he looked underneath, and he saw 4 legs in the bathroom. So he's banging on the door. Hey, come out of there, come out of there. What's going on in there? Banging, 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 banging. Finally, he starts rattling the door, and finally they open up the door, and there's 2 guys in there, one on top of each other, and one guy says, hey, don't worry about it, it's just my birthday. Yeah, so we get a few of those characters in there. But I've never seen anybody get killed other than they die from a medical reason. Guy needed a heart transplant. It's on a waiting list. They made him wait a year, and he died before the time was up, and things like that. I've seen guys die in the shower because from old age. We got people in their 80s. I just seen old age gets you. But yeah, we don't have the only gangsters come from the pen and the medium, and they've worked their way down, and they've done 20 years, and they want to go home. They got to outdate finally, and they can't stand the camp. They hate the fact that we don't have politics. They hate the fact you don't got to show paperwork. They hate the fact there's no cars. Some of them have their own little cars, but they usually get the guys from the pen and the mediums that were in a car. Now they're at a camp. They just pretty much ignore you. I mean, they really go out of their way to ignore you. You ask them a question, they won't even answer you. They don't want to acknowledge you. You know, that's their thing. Get over it, buddy. You know, we're all people. So the good thing was that you don't have to go through any of those hardcore things. If you're going to a camp or a low, you're going to make it. You're going to come out on the other side, and you can have a life when you get out. That's really all I got going on today. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe, please. Hit the like button. Share this video. Leave me a comment. Anything I can help you with, man. If you're going through what I went through, I want to help.